Hi, Ragu.
Rakesh. So, any questions from anyone on the chef part before we proceed to the next configuration management tool called Puppet?
Raghu, the resources are there, right? So are they gonna be different for different OS nodes?
So some resources are common to both or multiple OSs. For example, file resource.
Yeah.
It is common to both Linux and Windows.
Right.
And service package. So this some resources are common, and there are some exclusive resources for different operating system. For Windows, for example, PowerShell _ script, it's a resource.
Right.
So that mostly because you cannot use it in Linux or any other OS. So it is exclusive for Windows. So there are resources which are exclusive to OS also, and there are some common resources which can be used in both ways.
Okay, and while writing the cookbooks, we can actually keep the condition that, like, let's say, because cookbooks can be common for multiple nodes, right?
Yeah, you can have a platform independent cookbook.
Platform independent cookbook. So in that, we can actually, let's say, if we are using this cookbook for Windows, consider the PowerShell script resource. We are running for Ubuntu Linux based, consider bash resource. We can do it that way, right?
Correct, yes. So there are multiple ways. Write the separate recipes and then write a wrapper recipe, which probably can call it in a respective OS based recipes, RP file I'm talking about within the cookbook.
Okay. Yeah.
And or you can use case statement.
Okay, case. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, I think. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome.
We were able to do the Windows, bootstrapping to Windows node, and we tried uploading a few cookbooks using the command line itself from workstation.
Oh, good to know about that. Nice. So I'll ask some basic questions in the cookbook writing. So can I inject Python or shell scripting inside the recipe?
Shall we can?
We can. Okay. Yeah, because there are some resources available. Yes. For example, bash resource. Yeah, and then those resources available, which we can do that. But what is the limitation of using that?
Maybe just guessing if the versions are different and if the commands might have changed, like Python 3 and Python 2.
Yeah, that is fine. But from the chef point of view, yeah, I'll answer that. So chef is having a characteristics called idempotency. So what it mean with that? In case if the desired state is already met, it will not re-execute the recipe, re-execute the cookbook. What do you mean by that? For example, let's say we have written a cookbook to install some XYZ softwares and deploy some configuration according to the company or the product, and then start the respective services. Now, let's say every 1 hour, it is that agent is running. That is how you configure the client side. So when the cookbook is re-executing, it will check whether it is already installed. If it is installed, it will skip that part. Is it configuration is already there? Yes, it will skip that part. And it is already up and running? Yes. So this is how this chef actually I will be having this characteristic of the resources called idempotency. Now, if you use this bash or Python or shell scripting or anything about shell, they will not inherit this characteristic of idempotency. So what do you mean by that? So let's say that you downloading a software using shell script and then extracting and configuring make install. it will redo the same thing irrespective of the status of the current system. Now, to safeguard this, those respective resources have some guards. Like, you can write them condition. If not, not if. What do you mean by that? If not, this service is not there, then don't execute. So likewise, you can append the code when you write the bash shell scripts or Python or PowerShell inside the recipe. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, Raghu. And so let's say if we have a cookbook which installs Tomcat, HTTPD and all. So every time we do the chef client pull, it will be installing them again and again.
No, that is what. The by default, the characteristic of chef is it will skip all those things. If the desired state is met, it will not process anything in the code.
Okay, then this service standpoint that you are saying is basically
those shell script or PowerShell, if you inject inside the recipe.
Oh, okay.
Because they are not the chef language, no? So they are,
right.
they will not have that characteristic called idempotency.
Okay, got it.
It is actually, frankly speaking, not advisor suggested to use the different languages inside a cookbook because of these limitations, and then it will actually miss the flow also. But then technically speaking, it is allowed to inject them. It's in some cases, people generally use those respective scripts. Okay, so continue practicing. At least write some 15-20 cookbooks before you stop practicing chef. At least when it will bring you some confidence. Simple cookbooks to extremely simple cookbooks to moderate to complex cookbooks. And I think I also given those links wherein some step-by-step things are there, where attributes, data bags, so many things were involved. Okay. So let's move on. Configuration management chapter. So we have the next topic called Puppet. So we will, because we already having some hands-on to the chef, will not spend much time. We'll just today we will just wrap it up this Puppet. Let's start with the overview. So we don't need to discuss about all these things because these are all we know why do we need and all this stuff. So this is how the words. Puppet is a system for automating admin tasks, open source project written in Ruby. It's having its own declarative language. Cross-platform configuration management tool, can support both Linux, Unix, Windows. And unlike your chef, it is client-server based application. Here, the server is we call as Puppet Master. And the client, we can call it as Node or Puppet. Communication between this master and client happens over SSL communication. So this is also follow the same characteristics which I was talking about, this idempotency and detecting the status of the system, change if only needed, run on a regular basis. So you'll have a program running in the server side, client will be communicating over SSL verification. And it is good practice in case to store all those scripts in a version controlling mechanism. Git, GitHub or SVN, anything. So installation and configuration is straightforward. So we'll do that. Here, there are some directories which are created, mostly under the etc puppet. We'll be seeing also some configuration files, puppet, .conf, authentication, file server, etc. And the client command to run at the client, like your chef -client in chef, right? Here it is puppet agent -test or -t. That's the command. In case if you have multiple master in your environment, you just need to suffix the parameter called server so and so domain name. For the first time, if you're running, so certification, negotiation, and handshaking and registering will take some time. You can supply this parameter called wait for certification for 10 seconds. Something. This is just to not to say that it's only 10 seconds. Yeah, just to give you one idea that how can you supply the timeout option. From the master side, you can use this puppet cert list. It's changed now into puppet cert list to see what are all the certificates in queue to sign. So there will be, for example, let's say you have a master, you have a yes, right one. Diagram. Here your master, so you'll be configuring the agent to talk to the master. So for the first time, this at the master side, this request has to be signed. It will be there in the queue. At the master side, it has to be signed using some commands. Once it is signed, then yeah, a trust relationship will be established between master and client. And that's so then going forward, whenever agent runs here at regular interval, it will go and talk to the master using this SSL. So the commands is like how do you this signing certificate? There are 3 different ways. One is manually shown, or you cannot work on a specific node, specific request. You can create a file, and this is manually signing. It's a command. We just need to follow the command. That's it. And coming back to the language, this is the almost the same kind of syntax which we use in Chef. Here also we have this
Raghu, your voice is breaking.
is how is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it better now? No?
Can you say something?
Okay. Now I'm just checking.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, there could be some intermittent issue. What I was talking about is that in the resources side, you will be having the same resources such as like file, the service, user, the same resources which we have discussed in Chef configuration language. And coming back to the attributes, you will be having like different attributes comparatively with Chef. Here you'll be seeing some different attributes for each resources, such as ensure that it is present, the mode of the resource, the source of the resource, etc. Now in Chef, we generally use this what we call do right, do end. Yeah? But here in Puppet, it will be, we will be using this flower bracket, open and close. So this one difference, that a parameterized class we will be seeing here. So the extension, coming to the extension, this is PP here. In Chef, what was the extension in Chef? What was the extension?
RB.
RB, yeah. So in Chef, we call it as recipe. Yeah. And here we call it as manifest. Extension is PP file. PP file. Otherwise, we also have variables, arrays, hashes, selectors, if else, case statement. Everything is same here, like what you have in your Chef.
Is a class similar to cookbook here?
No, that is module here.
Module.
Yeah, to answer the question, yes, we have. Yeah, it is name. This name it called as like module.
Module. Okay.
So a small, extremely simple example, just to give you an idea how this is looking like. So you have this resource called package. This is a keyword. Now, what is the resource? Yes, looks like this is this package we want to install, NTP package. In Chef, we call as like action install or something like that. We will use the attribute. Here it is.
Your voice is breaking again. So
Ensure not that colon symbol.
we are losing you every few seconds in between.
Raghu, your voice is breaking. We lost you for last 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, let me just change the net 1 second. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, I'm back with another network. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Raghu.
Any better?
Means in other network also, in a minute we lose you for a few seconds. It was happening that.
Oh, see. I don't know. I was using Geo connection, and we got one more flat who actually taken that connection from the box recently. Looks like Geo is sharing that network with us. Given a complaint. Let's see. Anyway, I changed this network now. Yeah, I'm into now Airtel.
Okay.
Hope there is no lagging here, right? Looks like it is fine with you.
Yeah, this feels better so far. Let's
just observe for some time. Yeah. Anyway, this is Airtel, right? So this is the typical example here. The package is a resource here. And as we discussed, we will not have do and end here. We have this style, open and close. And this is the package name in this case. I'm saying ensure install with a comma. Ensure space is equal to install. It's a comma. We have to use this. This is an attribute. So similarly, this is service, ensure running with a comma required. Now what is this is, so in Puppet, because this is a class parameterized, I can recall this entire block So what I'm saying here that if package is not installed, you cannot start the process. So I'm saying that the dependency for this service is this. And the only thing here it is small letter and here it is capital letter. So it's a parameterized stuff. Yeah, so that's one good thing in Puppet. Yeah, in Puppet also we can create dependencies, but not like this simplest way. And in Puppet we also can create variables. So this is prefixing with dollar symbol, a variable. We can assign one value to here. Now this is resource as well as this is also we can call, use it as a variable. But when you call a variable, it is like this thing. You use this symbol. So file, make sure it is present. And probably I think, this example, they're trying to deploy a resource and the file is already available at this location. Source is this location. So this Puppet and 3 dashes is a keyword which actually represents the master address. Now this you can define which way the path and all that stuff. So the files will be available there, and then that will be deployed at this destination location called etc sample. So unlike your Ohio in Chef, you also have factor here. So what is this factor? Factor again, so understanding the client environment. So what is the architecture? Yeah, and what is the domain of the client and the version FQDN. So what is the hardware version, model, host name, anything you can fetch and write the code based on the factor details. Sometimes you need to go for condition based. In those cases, this will be very useful. And we also have templates here. Templates with extension ERB, embedded Ruby file. So we also have this variable supplying to the pet template. So that's advantage we have. So we have seen this template yesterday, one example, no, virtual host, similar to that ERP file. You can call the template using this way, content equal to template and that ERB file. And also variable declaration in template is also possible. We can do this way. And yeah, I was just talking about, right? So far, whatever we have discussed, that is all on from the resource point of view, from the language point of view, and manifesto is what we call it as a PP file. But equivalent to cookbook in Puppet, we have these modules. And it is all CLI in Puppet, open source. So mostly those modules will be deployed under module selection, a module folder here. What is module? Collection of manifestos, collection of classes, definitions, and resources, etc. So this is, let's say that your etc Puppet module location, you have some bunch of modules. You will be having a main manifesto. We call it as site.pp. Site.pp. So here I will be defining that on this node, apply this module, this module, this module. It's a file actually, basically. Okay, it's a file. So this module, this module, this module. So I can refer, my site.pp or my main manifesto file will search automatically the modules in this module section, which is at this location. and it download those modules while executing this particular site.pp on this node. So the differences between Puppet and Chef is the way the program executes. In Chef, we do something different, no? So we have a node and you have an edit run list and drag and drop those modules onto the node. But here, we don't have any GUI. Everything is a CLI, command line interface. So you have this site.pp, and this is where you can develop some modules, keep them in the repository under this folder. Now you can write your own site.pp and do all this butlet stuff. So this is completely. Now, is it mandatory that I have to write modules? Not necessarily. You can inject the code and everything in the PP also. Then what is the use of using module? Reusability, organizing everything in your company. So you can reuse all these modules, right, at multiple machines. So that advantage will be there. So otherwise, if you want, you can write everything under the PP file only, or you can write separate PP files. One PP file name, let's say some PP, and that is also possible. And then SQL PP. So likewise, you can write separate PP files and call those PP files also. That is also there. These are all different practices, but the best practice is the one which I am talking about. Write modules, write site.pp, and call those modules into this site.pp. So it is the best and effective way of managing your environment in Puppet. So the structure of the module looks similar. How we have discussed that, similar to the same stuff in your Chef only. So we have files here, and we have templates here. In Chef, we generally used to have a folder called recipe. Here it is manifests because there is no recipes, no. And in Chef, it is default.rb. Here it is init.pp. In the module the structure. So you can create multiple folders apart from templates, files, etc. But everything you have to create manually. There is no commands, right? Like Chef create cookbook. So you don't have that here. Everything you have to create manually, all these folders, etc. In Chef, we have supermarket. So similarly, here also we have not supermarket, but Puppet Force. So what is this? A public repository where you will find some bunch of ready-made modules. So you don't need to develop the modules from scratch. So do we have any other repository? Yes. So we also have this David schematics repository, but now it is integrated with for this Forge official one. We also have Ricardo Brito repository. This is also now integrated into Puppet. And Ishavo also there. That is also integrated. And there's just some sites if you want to know more about those modules, more about those manifestos. There are a lot of sites available. Now, because Puppet came into the market in 2006, comparatively with your Chef, the vintage configuration management tool, this is. So contribution from the open source market here is very high. So you will see a lot of modules comparatively with Chef, comparatively with any other configuration management tool, which is available in the market. So you have that advantage. It's also that you can find a guy who's having 60 years, okay, and then you probably, let's say if it is working for for last 15 years in this area, yeah, you'll find that guy, Puppet experts across the market. Whenever any company adopting a technology, they'll take all this into consideration, no, before finalizing which technology we have to adopt, whether we want to go with Ansible, Chef, Puppet. So we call it like, feasibility studies. And yeah, there are a lot of other features also: scalability, flexibility, reliability, cross-platform, easy to use, rapid growth, and some additional tools also available. Puppet dashboard. The GUI, it is not by default available. You have to download exclusive separately and configure that graphical user interface through which you can control these clients and modules through GUI. So you also have some IDE tools, integrated development tools, RALS, and then this Geppetto. And in your Chef, we have nice tool to deal with your modules, to deal with the supermarket, etc. Here we have PMT tool. We call it as Puppet module tool. So you can also use that shell scripts and etc. All that stuff here. This references from where this slide was picked in. So the Puppet Labs is official vendor, and puppetcookbook.com, a good site to find out extremely simple modules to advanced modules. Puppetcookbook.com, and you also have some Google groups to find some contribution from Puppet users across the world. Puppet.com, an official one. So I think this is taking time. They also have enterprise products in case you're for enterprise, and otherwise a lot of other products also they're releasing. Even I am not very familiar with a lot of tools that are getting better and better day by day. So you have this Remediate, Comply, it seems, Connect, a lot of tools, products they're releasing for enterprise model. So market share, they actually lost a lot of market share because of not upskilling themselves during 2010 and 11. So when I was working with Puppet for a couple of years, they did not actually compile to adapt to even cloud environment that time. So I don't know what happened with them. It got delayed. During that time, Chef picked up. So they started capturing the market. So let's jump onto the setting up this master and client. Very easy, just install master client and then SSL certification, that's it. So, but first of all, I want to know whether an Amazon repository is available or not, because last time we had issue setting up Puppet. Puppet install. I think looks like I not prepared a notes for it. It's fine. We will try to first of all start a machine and then try to install Puppet there. So everyone is still with me, right? Able to hear me properly, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my backup network. Yeah. So don't exploit that speed. But otherwise, yeah, in case if it is having any issues, let me know.
Are we going to take new instances or can we use the existing ones?
We can use existing one, yeah.
Oh.
Jeff workstation we can use.
Okay.
I should have prepared a notes for it because in Amazon repository the Puppet was not available. So we installed in last class I have installed manually. We were researching a lot of blogs and articles, but that's fine. But I think I can figure it out. Install on EC2 machine. Just referring up to some of the blocks. Okay, this guy has taken Ubuntu, it seems. Okay. We will also see. In case if it is not available in Amazon Linux, we'll also move to Ubuntu. Okay, and then started installing. By saying, yeah. So let's first of all start one workstation and let me see in case whether Puppet available here or not. If not, I think I have to shift to switch to a Ubuntu machine. Start this instance. First, I'm checking whether Puppet is available in the repository or not. It was discarded and continued, I think, for some reason. So that is the reason we went with Ubuntu. Otherwise, what we have to do, we have to search Puppet official site and then download some enterprise free trial edition. So many things we have to do. Okay, so what we do, we will try to find one more block in case on Amazon Linux if you have to install. If not, we'll go to switch Ubuntu install and Amazon Linux too. So on Amazon Linux, it is saying to configure the Puppet repository, right? Okay, and then execute this output, install Puppet server. So yeah, let me try this option. If this works, it saves our time. So we have this Puppet repository apart from Amazon repositories. I'll share this command once it is successfully installed. And then now I will try to search for Puppet. Yeah, so Puppet software is available in the Puppet repository, but it is version 7. Wow, some latest edition. So yum install server. So retrieving key from file, importing GPG key, Puppet incorporation release key. This is okay. Yes. Yes. Then let me search for Puppet. Where got it installed? So to change the Puppet server memory allocation, you can edit the init configuration file. Once the package is installed, start the Puppet server. What is this configuration? Let me just put it. Okay, it is installed under etc Puppet Labs and OPT Puppet Labs. Okay. And try to start the service. Let me see if it is starting or not. So it's saying that job for Puppet server service failed because the control process exited with error code. Journal control exe for details. Failed to start Puppet. Let me try this one first of all. Because we don't have 2 gigahertz, maybe that would be the issue. Now I'll try to see if I can start the server. It's taking a lot of time. Dump for puppet fail because not enough available RAM. Okay, I think only 983 is there. So let me reduce further then. How do you check how much it is available? Okay. Oh, freeze this much. Okay. AFFNS. Let me stop some processes. So let's see if it is stop. Nagios stop. We got from free space, free RAM. And what else we can do? XMS 1 GB. So if I want to configure only like with 250 MB, used 373, freeze 450. Let's see if I can configure with like that. What's the parameter for that? Just check it out. We have this kind of option. Yeah, looks like we have 250 MB. Two 250 MB. Oh, general city is also not. I think it requires the minimum 2 GB. So we don't have a choice with this. So we have to go with Ubuntu for now. So let me go to my Amazon console and get a Ubuntu machine. So older version 7.1 and 7.0 edition looks like minimum required 2 GB. Or our T2 micro comes with 1 GB. No, I just tried to tweak that, but it was not helping. So let me find out an Ubuntu edition to install the older edition. Out of this, what's at least 4 GB RAM? Okay. So I am going with the Ubuntu flavor. The login credentials for Ubuntu is not easy to type in user, but it is Ubuntu. So let me follow this to start with. apt install Puppet Master. Why? Okay, unable to locate. Let me do one thing. Ticket update. We just need update to the repository in Ubuntu, unlike your Red Hat Linux. Now, yes, it's getting installed. So this is where it's trying to set. We can also install Linux, but 4 GB RAM is required minimum. That's what the 7 edition, or you have to look for the older edition. So it is saying that Puppet Master is running, and yeah, everything is looking okay. Started the Puppet Master. Now on the agent, so what we do, because we have the other machine, no, that Amazon Linux. Amazon Linux we will treat as agent. Yeah. So interesting. This is version 5. That is version 7. But let's see. First, we will uninstall Puppet Master there. Yum list RPM UA 5 grep Puppet yum remove Puppet server -7. I'm removing server from our Amazon Linux machine, so that I can install agent there. Version 7 it is. Let's see if it is having backward compatibility or not. Install Puppet agent. Agent is already there. Maybe I think it is bundled with server software. So then go to this puppet.conf. Okay, so locate puppet.conf. It is under Puppet Labs, I guess. So you have Puppet. Yeah, there's the location. Puppet.conf. So we need to define that is what this master. That's what actually we are trying to do here. We just need to add only a few things. The server equal to provide the server FQDN. So under vim.etc puppet.conf, you just need to edit and add that server equal to Puppet Master Test, whatever the stuff. So now, what's my server FQDN? Fully qualified domain. To avoid confusion, I just logging out. So I'll change the background also. Yeah, just to differentiate between master and client. The syntax is very simple. Server is space is equal to space. What is my fully qualified name of the Puppet Master? We just need to verify whether it is reachable or not. That will do a little later now. So this is the server parameters. I'm just adding this server space is equal to space. This one. I'm just checking whether the network connectivity is there or not. Yeah, there is a response. So we are good with that. So now, if I use this Puppet space set list -all, it will show me that there are any servers already registered. So what is the host name here? 171. So we could see only one machine is added as of now. So here, so Puppet set is displaying how many nodes are registered with that. Okay, so we need to check it out. And what it's saying, that in the future, we would like to encourage you to use this one. I see. Okay, that's fine. In the future, we'll see. So now, because we added that agent configuration here, I would like to start the process of agent. So start Puppet agent. This step initiates the Puppet agent to generate a certificate for the master to sign. The certificate is sent to Puppet master over SSL. So you can start this Puppet agent. No demonize, means you don't do any demonize for now. One time verbose. Try this option at the client side. Verbose type. Okay, name or service are not known. So go to the certification list and see if there are any queues. No queue. Maybe because version 7 and version 5 conflict, I guess. That was yes. Connection failed trying to next route, request HTTP Puppet. So it is referring Puppet dot this thing. That's it. But we modified that already. The server is this. So are we missing any other configuration? So version conflict. So anyway, what we do with temporarily, we will use the same machine as client. This is my Amazon Linux, and this is my Windows machine. So I'll use the same single machine. So what is that? We just need to add the server equal to. Host name -f. This is FQDN. Server space is equal to paste this. under the main section. And then try to start the Day9 stuff. Yeah, it started now. So because everything is on the same node right now, instead of like spinning up one more Ubuntu and just installing everything on the same node. So we could see that the server is configured, agent is configured. Just in case if you have a separate node, then you can go ahead and sign this thing using this command, puppet cert sign. How do you know whether the certificate is signed or not? So you will see a plus symbol here. If you see a plus symbol, which means that yes, so and so node is signed already with master. So on both agents, enable the puppet agent. Okay. Enable it. Yeah. So now let's start with coding. So entire coding, right now we have discussed now that architecture under the manifesto folder we have to create. So it is saying that create environments production manifesto directory under this etc puppet code folder. Let's just check it out. I am under etc puppet. So we have code. So under this, we have to create this folder. Environment production manifesto. By default, the folder will not be there. You have to create it. -p environment production manifesto. Go to environment productions manifesto. So we are under this folder. So site.web is what we discussed now. So we'll write our first manifesto. So we just need to define on which node it has to be applied. We only have single node for now. So on this node, what it is saying, please install this software, MySQL software. So we'll copy and modify these parameters. We don't have multiple nodes. So what's our host name here? This is my host name, right? So edit this host name. So because we only have single node. So I am deleting one argument. I'm just giving only one host name here, which was wherein we have installed this agent and package. So the syntax is same: MySQL name install. This is just for testing purpose. So now I want to see whether that particular code is having any syntax issue or not. So you can use this parser, puppet parser validate that so and so. Yeah, so looks like no major issues. All like fine. It's only just a warning. Now apply the puppet agent. How do you do that? So check. This is the command we just now discussed in the presentation. Puppet agent --- test. Puppet agent - test. So let's see whether MySQL is getting installed or not. It's saying that applying configuration version so and so. So it will go with one code. So it is always verifies that. By the way, that MySQL software, is it there or not? We'll just check it out. It is there. I think now it is getting installed. Applying the configuration, MySQL server package. Yes, created. Written. The package is installed. This is just for testing purpose. We have installed and it is successfully working. So probably you can use this same link. Thing is, you have to use the Ubuntu machine. So let me paste that in the meeting chat. Yeah. Any questions from anyone? I think let me share the commands also, which we have used in the Ubuntu machine. So it is comparatively with Chef. Is it easy or is it hard? Okay. For some, we just struggled with installation because version was not available in Amazon Linux. Otherwise, like configure and everything. So do you see that? Is it easy comparatively with Chef?
Yes, Raghu. We usually use Ubuntu machines, so these instructions are a little familiar.
Oh, is it? Okay. So we only have like master and client, and that is like Node. We don't have like framework kind of stuff. So you have that advantage here. So let's just spend some time on this refreshing this code. I know we have some got an idea. So we just now discussed that, right? We don't have do and end. Instead, it is a parameterized class. So you have all these attributes. So you can search for the resource page in Puppet and get familiar with those resources there. So in case if you would like to know how many resources are available in your machine, you can use this command Puppet resource -- types. All these resources will be displayed. So in case if you want to know more about, let's say, file, you can simply say resource. I think no. We'll just check the syntax. Puppet resource user. Okay. What is the usage? Puppet resource and then provide the username, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So you can use that command. And what else we get here? So we just now discussed, of course, the path is changed, the version is changed. Now the path is this path. In older version, that was the path, but now it is under etc puppet code environments production manifesto. This is where you have to create the manifestos, manifest path. There is a change in the folder structure. And in Puppet, of course, we have seen that now the class kind of code blocks. The advantage is you can call anywhere. How do you call? Use the capital letter. And when we write site.pp, this is how you'll follow. So just in case if you have modules, then how do you call that module here? So then the same site.pp, just say that use this so and so module. So that way you can directly use the module here. And in case you have some sub functionality within the class, you have some resources to be referred. So you can use this, let's say Apache : virtual host inside the class, and then call that particular virtual host inside the class. So you have that advantage of C, C++ power here, that programming language, object oriented. The modules we have seen, yeah. So the path, and modules here again. Anyway, I think we did not refer that, right? So probably I think we have to create that folder again. So right now it is manifesto, right? So here we have to create the modules path under the code and then start using that particular stuff. To take an example, so the requirement is that we would like to develop a LAMP stack. Basically, this is a common word on a Linux platform, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So if this is Ubuntu machine, all that stuff, how do you develop this stuff? So we have to install Apache, MySQL, PHP, test the page. So the code, something like this thing. So you have this apt update, right? And then install all that stuff here. And so write everything under manifestos. That is one way. You can create your own pp file and then refer that in site.pp. So that is one way you can install this thing. And the second type is write a module. How do you write a module? You create a folder, let's say LAMP, under that manifesto folder, under that init.pp. So inject that code inside this class. So this class name is again has to be similar with your module folder. So this class and the module name, but you have to follow the same name. Now, once the module is ready, when that's it, the module will be ready. How do you use that module in the site.pp? On a node, simply say include that module. Anyway, module will be there at this specific location. So it will go and fetch the module here. So this is you have advantage. So you can reuse the module there. And the other way of using developing modules is there are some ready-made modules available. So let's go to the site. Wait ports. Now this is official module repository from Puppet. So you can search for any module. So what was the requirement? We would like to install Apache, MySQL, PHP. So let's start with Apache. I would like to search for Apache module. So there are a lot of Apache modules available. So find out which is suitable to you. In this case, what was Ubuntu, right? Apache 2. Let's search for Apache 2. Okay, let me, this is not an official one. I am looking for Ubuntu. So search for Ubuntu. Okay, so we could get the quality of the score. I think, yeah, a lot of people downloaded and they given 5 quality. And this is 4.6, but this is the official one. Oh, so this is from Puppet Labs. Okay, so we will not use this one. We will try to use this one because this one got 5 quality score. So let me click on this module. So you can visit the description and which OS it supports. And I think our version is so version 7, right? Okay, I think this is not falling under that. So it may not support that, but that's fine. Maybe just to say, I just want to demonstrate how to use that. So now click on the download section. You can download here also manually if you want to do that, or you can use this command puppet module install, and this is the module name. That probably I think the person who written all the stuff version so and so. So let me copy this. Go to my server. Let me see where it will install. So it is installed under module directory. Okay, we actually not created, but and that is the reason it is actually created the target directory automatically. And then it is trying to download from the Force API. What is the server? Yeah, finally downloaded. So it downloaded under etc puppet code environments production. Same level, I guess. The module folder was not created, so hence it is created actually. Inside that you have this Apache 2. So, but what it has done looks like it actually also downloaded some dependencies. So probably that guy created some dependencies that these are all other modules required to run this thing. Okay, fine. Let me go to Apache 2 first to understand what is there. So inside this thing, you have README file. You can go through the file. Now we are interested to directly go to manifestos. So go to manifestos. And where we start? We start with init.pp. So this is the actual model. So you need to spend some time understand how these things, because when we write in real time modules and all these things, definitely not be that straightforward, no? So because this is supports multiple OSs, I think you might have used a lot of variables and booleans. So what it is doing, if manage. So he's created a class first of all called Apache, a boolean variable created manage. Right now it is true, and means if it is true, include web server, include the Apache to install, create a resource, etc. So these are all recipes I think he is using here. Come out of this, not recipe, but basically manifesto in Puppet language. So we could see that a lot of PP's files are there. Config, install, LD path, so many things he configured, and you also configured some configuration folders. So that proxy, reverse proxy, everything I think he created there. So the module is available. I'm not spending too much time on that. Yes, the module is available. So you can also refer the README how to use this stuff. It says that a simple Apache 2 Puppet module with optional Monet. Monet is actually a monitoring package which starts the Apache process if it goes down. So he also installed and packaged that into this module. So aim at case where Puppet Labs Apache is simply too much. Yeah, the official one the one I was did not download. No, it is actually little complex one. That is the reason I think he simplified this stuff. Module usage. How do you use it? This so simply use this in your site.pp. So says it say class Apache 2 and this thing. That's it. And in case if you have your own server name, it is saying that please use this way. And if you want to enable an Apache model, use this way. As simple as that, right? So probably we can copy this settings. Now, where will I go? I'll come out of this module folders and go to manifestos. I already have site.pp now. So, what we do, we simply, anyway, that is already there. So I'm not going to disturb that. I'll inject that code. Class Apache 2. Simple default the sites. I think default sites I'm going with that. And save this stuff. That's it. Right. We only have one node. No, that is nothing but the self node. Now do agent --- test. Okay, could not retrieve catalog from remote server error evaluation while evaluating server's resource statement, class monet parameter, monet email expect to string value. Okay, there is some in line 83, something need to be configured, it seems. That is not available, but otherwise it actually configured most of the things. So this is just to demonstrate, right? So, but anyway, we are not here to troubleshoot right now this, but just to give an idea of what is Forge Labs and then how you download a module and develop your own site.pp based on that. So similarly, you can find out tons of modules here. I want to look for MySQL module, search for it, you'll get that. MySQL, just search for which OS you're looking for, whether you want Windows and all this stuff. So if it is Windows also available, platform independent, right? So this is official one. Official one is always not that simple and actually little complex. So that's the reason people always look for some alternatives, unless you're expert in Puppet. Come back to the presentation. This is like type 3, and this is how you develop your site.pp. So you don't want to really use the entire power of the module. I just want to use only a few functions within the module. So that is how you'll be developing your own manifesto and site.pp. Download the module is very easy, but which one you want to use? So which functionality I want to inherit from the module? I want to execute that. That you have a control by customizing the site.pp. This is source parameter where files can be deployed. That's fine. I not worried about that. So what else we have in Puppet? So just in case we are interested, you want to learn. So Puppet is having these Puppet's components also. We have seen this factor. mcollective is also there. In some complex situations where infrastructure orchestration framework you want to set up, you can use that. And like your chef, Puppet, you can also use Hira there, which can encrypt some passwords, just in case you want to use in module and manifesto. And you want to store all the data generated by Puppet on a location. So Puppet DB also available. And data dashboard anyway we have discussed, so it's available separately. You have to configure that, and then and the external node classifier ENC, you can use it as a front end. There is 4 available third-party provisioning tool for Puppet ENC, IDE tool, advanced users, developers, IDE environment like your Eclipse in Java. Installation we have seen. I don't want to spend. So this is the first beta 0.9. This is the actual evaluation of the versions. So from 2.7, they started supporting Windows. 3 came, 4, 3 came, and when I prepared the slide, I think it was 4, but now 7 is also available. And yeah, so I updated this long back to 2015. Coming to the language, we have seen it is the same DSL, mostly the declarative like your chef, but there are differences such as parameterized class, the way you develop manifesto and module, extension, resources. And classification of nodes is also possible here because master generates some catalog with list of resources. So you can classify the nodes, and then based on that, you can use those resources there. We have seen a lot of resources here. One is resource types or single units of configuration composed by package, service, file, user, mount, so many things. And a title is called as like referred one. So for example, package, so and so package name, that is the title one. And these are all arguments here. So example for file. So this is the file I have to create where under this path, the content of the path is this. That's it. Some sample resources. This is package resources. How to create a file. And this is about installation of package. And these are all resource types here. So you can also develop some complex resources. For example, I would like to start engineering services, but management of engineering service with parameters is actually required. It's not straightforward to start. So you can use this variables, modules, variables, Nginx manage service name, service enable. I want to check config HTTP, Nginx on. These are all things can be also configured in service. So the location where the Nginx configuration file you want to deploy in case if you want to go with that. And of course, you also have some variables can be created here. Factors also can be used to collect the client information so that you can use that as a parameter. How do you deploy that stuff? Certification name, we have seen how do you add that. And in case you have multiple machines, so you can web 0, web 2, web 3, you can have your own defined list of matching names also possible. So you can add a module like this thing. So certificate name, it refers the certificate name. So basically certificate name, you can have your own name there. Can I also set up a masterless Puppet in my environment? That what do you mean by that? I don't want to set up any master. All agents I want to configure. Yes, you can do that. So when you develop a manifesto or a module, how do you apply that in a node without a master? Use this Puppet space apply. So and then so and so module name and all these things. It will execute locally without contacting the master. So otherwise, if you have a master client relationship, you use this Puppet agent on the client and Puppet master at the master server. Communication on the port number is 8140. We have seen that also in our logs. With the default communication port, client talks to the master. So this port has to be open. So this is what I was talking about. So let's set up when you go for it, Puppet apply, give the module path name and the location of the manifesto in case. Yeah, so we have discussed these things. You have to set up the cron job at the client side. Puppet set list, Puppet list all, sign, clean, certification at the master to manage the nodes, to manage the certificates. You use these commands at the Puppet's master side. We have just now seen that, right? Puppet, let's say Puppet set list. That will list all the certificates. Puppet, you want to clean, I want to remove some certificates, or you want to disconnect some agents. You can use clean or sign. By default is the location where it will store all the certificates. I guess version 7 might be a little deviated from this path. You can still refer where lib Puppet. Okay, I think they are following the same structure. That is good. So there's a location where actually all the certificates, requests, pendings, signed certificates, everything will be listed, which maintains the trust relationship between the client. Same thing also available at the client side also, by the way. So can I debug the agent side just in case if I want to debug any module? Yes, you can use this debug command, Puppet agent test debug. So it will run the agent in the foreground and debug mode. And I don't want to run anything, but I want to do a dry run. So you can use no op without making any changes to the system. So this is about the certification approval in case if you have any challenges to troubleshoot. 120 seconds. Useful but for troubleshooting purpose. Some useful path by default, var Puppet contain all the logs, libpuppet, operational data such as certifications, backup and everything will be there. SSL we have seen, certificates and client bucket. Site.pp, yeah, the path is different anyway, but otherwise this is where the main manifesto, where the master will process all the connections, client connections, to produce the configuration, the catalog, and apply to the nodes. So the anatomy, how it runs. So when the agent starts using Puppet agent -t, client receive all external plugins from the server, and then runs the packets to send it to this server, because it has to advertise that, hey, my OS is this, my version is this, etc. And the server looks the client host name, certificate name, everything, and then it will compile catalog separately for that particular server. And then the server compiles the entire catalog for the client using the client specs. So it will based on the OS in case if you look for some condition based. And if there are no syntax errors inside the program or inside the catalog, and it will send that catalog to the client in PSON format. So which will cached by the client. The client receives that in the entire catalog from the master, and it will then apply that to the locally to that environment. So if there are any dependencies, loops which is created in the program, the catalog cannot be applied and it will fail. So you have to again revisit the dependencies if anything is missing there. And once it is done, all the changes will be displayed on the screen itself. If there are errors also, and different colors like red, pink, Puppet versions based on the versions, because version 7 is now showing differently. So and then it will send the report to the server. So what was changed, what was applied to the client side, and then server eventually sends the report to the report collector. So in case if you want to go for some versionized packages, yes, so you can better use some variables, absent, latest, so to remove the packages, just in case if you want to clean up. So instead of ensure present, you can use the ensure absent, or if you want to upgrade, you can use ensure latest. You want to provide the provider names, that is also possible there. So managing services also, this is name service, ensure running, enable true at the boot level. So where the init scripts and then HTTPD, all that stuff here. .com here. Some commands, yes, some advanced concepts, but it's anyway, we don't want to spend on that. Yeah, so that's all from my end. I think, how is Puppet? I don't. There's too much to digest at one session, but yeah, don't want to spend too much time on that. Comments.
Raghu, this also is a pull mechanism, right? And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is also pull mechanism.
So are we going to continue about puppets tomorrow with examples, or are we fine with this much knowledge of Puppet?
Yeah, this is fine with as much of knowledge because not all the clients are looking for nowadays Puppet.
Okay.
So we will spend more time on Ansible. So
Okay.
we'll start with Ansible tomorrow, and then I will spend like time on Ansible.
Sure.
Are you doing any practice? Are you getting any time otherwise?
No, I think like today, like I could not ramp up with this.
Okay.
I got some issue at the Puppet agent, no demonize.
Okay. So you're using Ubuntu or like which one you're
Ubuntu. I also turned up a new instance. Ubuntu 20.
So you're following the same blog, right? The one which I was following.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Maybe just check the server FQDN. Servers check the. Have you given the server details everything? I mean, so are you installing everything on single node or multiple nodes?
A single only.
Okay, so that ETC Puppet.
Yeah, maybe that ETC Puppet we conf thing I missed, I think. Or I'll rewatch the video and try to resolve it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just to get some knowledge on that will be enough.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like even particularly in the US market, the Puppet was slowly deprecating.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, because Europe market and Indian clients, and still some people are required. They may ask you, right? So Puppet also. So just for that purpose, because language is almost same except that parameterizer stuff. So Chef and Puppet. So if you know Chef end to end, I think upscaling in Puppet will not take much time.
All right. This site PP something acts like our Chef management console, right? Where we register which node should use which module.
Correct. Yeah. Like probably we can say run list.
Run list. Yeah.
But one advantage is this: in run list you can write a code, but inside that PP you can also write code.
Right.
So even if you don't have module also, you can directly write that, and then you don't need to even depend on defining node classifications, etc.
Oh, you mean to say like we don't have to really create a module? We can write it in a site PP file itself.
Correct.
Oh.
But the disadvantage is again, if you want to reuse to multiple servers, right? Then that's a problem. So cited PP will be clumsy.
Correct. The independent some similar issue, right? The limitation where if we use it in different environments, it may fail.
Yeah. So the same file become like larger and larger.
Right.
Effective way is try to use modules, even though for the first time it will take time, but in case down the line when it becoming complex, then module will segregate and easy to troubleshoot.
So it's suggested to use the modules available on the Forge site of Puppet.
No, not suggested. I mean, see, if you are a master in Puppet, let's say, I mean, you're expert in Puppet, and now you want to develop a solution. So you don't need to develop from scratch. But the problem, I mean, this is my personal opinion. Again, what the Puppet book says that yes, it is suggested to use Forge. But personal experience, I would like to share that when you download this ready-made modules, right? Analyzing that module, because it is actually very complex. Generally, you'll be seeing thousands of lines will be there. Yes, if the requirement is not that so complex, investing time in understanding it is tough, but yeah, it may take like a couple of days for you to just to understand one module. So how the variables are defined, what is the relationship, so where this guy is written. So, but that is one-time task. So once you understood that ready-made model, no, for your lifelong, if you provide any solution to any client, right, within no time you can provide a solution. So that is a different story. But I don't suggest you to directly start use the ready-made modules or ready-made cookbooks also immediately until you become expert in these areas.
Okay.
This is my personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if the requirement is very small, we can write our own modules itself.
That is always best because troubleshooting will be easy, and we know where to change, what to change in case if there is any changes required.
All right.
But when I'm taking interview, I'll always ask my participants that have you written a wrapper module or wrapper cookbook? Till now, I have not heard any yes.
Okay.
Most of the guys, very tough, right? Going through this ready-made stuff. But it is good, like it's worth spending. Once like you upskill and all this thing, they generally don't change those ready-made models. For example, official cookbooks or official models, the Puppet or Chef, they don't change it. So it will be forever. So you can simply write one wrapper cookbook, wrapper module, just use the inherit the functionality, and in no time you can provide a solution to the clients.
Okay. So this wrapper thing we can practice on Chef also, right? Because it is similar in Puppet also.
Correct. Yes. If you reach that level means wrapper means yes, you can you can update saying that yes, I'm expert Chef. I'm expert in Puppet.
All right.
Any questions from anyone? I think today is a very quiet thing. I think a lot of people. Yeah. But don't worry. Tomorrow we are starting a lightweight configuration management tool. It's a very interesting one. So and today's trend that a lot of people are using Ansible. Okay, so we will come with open mind, fresh mind. In case if you don't understand the Chef and Puppet also, no worries. There's no prerequisites, but to learn Ansible. Just if you understood configuration management concept, that's enough. I think some of you already, I think, might be working on Chef, I guess, right? The other day, someone was telling me, yeah. Which is not joined today, yeah. Okay then. So if there is no more questions, we have 8 more minutes, but I will give it back to you. So is that fine?
Yeah, fine, Raghu.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining today. So we'll catch up tomorrow with a topic called Ansible.
Okay. Thanks, Raghu.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Raghu.